welcome all of you. I see some known faces and some very, very new faces, which is good. And maybe it's my mistake. I haven't kept in touch with some of you. So good to have you here and good to see you here sharp at 10 o'clock for our beautiful session, which will be discussed for the next about half an hour, 40 minutes. So before I move on with this, may I request to know, would you like this in English? या ये मैं हिंदी में लूं? Or would you want a mix of both of these things? If you can just put it in your chat, how would you like this in Hindi or English, please? And I'll take it in that particular language. Okay, Hindi, English, English, English. Okay, all right. Chalo, we'll mix it up. All right, we'll mix it up. We'll keep you engaged. We'll have a good time in the next 40, 45 minutes or so, or maybe an hour or so. And let's see if we can take a few things from this particular session. All right. So today's training, which I'm asked to do, is based on leadership in real estate, right? Now, training on becoming a leader in real estate, building teams, and enhancing personal growth and career development. See, a lot of these words are great. A lot of these phrases are amazing, unless they are actually implied and applied, right? So a lot of people say, "Bahut log kehte hain ki yaar leaders are born," and I completely agree with that. I don't deny that. But then there are people who have these leadership qualities in them. It is just a matter of time of bringing that out. It's just a matter of time. That little poke is required. That little support system is required, which unleashes that particular part in you, which makes you want to believe that you are a leader. But hey, you know what? Sounds really amazing and sounds really cool, right? Hey, I'm a leader. Yes, of course. Of course, it's a cool thing to be in. But definitely, it comes with a lot of responsibility. It comes with a lot of patience. It comes with a lot of things which could be your attributes, which if you don't have, or you're a little bit on the lower side on that, it doesn't matter. As long as you work on them, as long as you continually work on them, as long as you hone your skills, as long as you maintain a certain level, a certain degree of discipline around them, I'm sure it's not rocket science and it's definitely not a big deal, right? So leadership in building teams, enhancing your personal growth and career development is what we'll be talking about today. But let me introduce myself. A few of us know each other very well. But my name is Ajay. I've been with EXP for a while now. I'm also a trainer, a mentor, and a coach in real estate. I've been around in this industry for almost 16 years now, right? Been on both sides of the coin with developers and also in organized real estate consultancy and across a few countries and a few markets in India. So specialize primarily in sales, CRM, marketing in Indian and international markets. And of course, the idea is to have the right clients or give them the right advice as far as investment decisions are concerned, right? What makes us slightly different is we work more on a digital model, wherein very rarely do we have a physical meets. So we call ourselves a bit of, a digital entrepreneurial setup kind of a thing, if that's what I was supposed to put it that way, right? And our idea is to give leverage, allow people and motivate people who probably do not get the opportunities in certain places for various reasons. Maybe they come from a town which does not have so much opportunity as opposed to, the tier one cities or the big cities. So ourselves as digital entrepreneurs, it is our, ambition, and more importantly, it's our aspiration to get these guys on board and give them the right advice, whether it's a B2B client or a B2C client, to ensure that the money is secure and in the best investment possible, right? Like I said, in multiple cities, since I've worked, across India, I carry a little bit of experience as far as the micro markets are concerned, as far as the culture is concerned, which sort of gives me a fair understanding of how that market typically operates. I can't say I'm absolutely amazing at it. No, nobody can do that. We still need to have local input. We still need to have local expertise, which is where the leadership skill comes into the place, because that's what we try to get from any local market, right? Over these years, I've successfully trained close to about 8,000 people. And yes, here I am, and very, very happy to be with the EXP and with this Indian and global sort of expertise. Let me try and make this a little interesting for you today. I'm very, very proud to be a part of the Indian Agents Advisory Council as well. So I've been serving it for a year and a few months now. And hopefully I want to continue if they allow me to. If they think I'm too boring, which VG often says, Ajay, just shut up, you speak too much, that's my job, right? But I would love to be a part of this, and it's a beautiful, beautiful platform. So going ahead, let me just tell you a quick agenda as to what we're going to do today, right? So let's talk about the introduction to leadership in real estate. ठीक है, क्या कोर प्रिंसिपल्स होते हैं लीडरशिप के which are specific to real estate, the key leadership skills that are required for any real estate agent, the essential communication skills, the decision making skills, and the strategic abilities, right? How do you effectively build teams? See, this is a very, very vast topic. So I may not be able to go in depth into every micro attribute of each topic, but obviously I'll try and cover as much as possible in the limited time that we have, right? So as far as effective teams are concerned, how do you have a sustainable and strategic recruitment priority and possibility within your team, and how do you manage them, most importantly? Because it's not just about recruiting them, it's also about keeping them, it's also about handling them, it's also about managing them, ensuring that they are with you through thick and thin. It's not like, bhai, aaye aur 2 mahine mein chale gaye, and then, this is bad, that is bad, this is not happening, that's not happening. That's not what we want, do we? Right? So enhancing your personal growth and career development, because eventually the only reason, if you take any reason, okay, whether it's your financial motivation, whether it's upliftment in your pay scale, or whatever it is, at the end of the day, घूम फिर के सब चीजों के, there's one thing that you need is your peace of mind, right? So when you have your personal growth and career development, how does it lead to your peace of mind? Something we'll talk about a little bit over here. Creating a leadership mindset, absolutely and extremely important, without which we're not doing anything and we're not going anywhere, right? And overcoming the challenges in leadership. Finally, we'll come up to the conclusion, and then we'll have a quick Q&A round, all right? Okay, great. So let me introduce leadership, or give you a quick introduction to leadership in real estate. Now, what is leadership in real estate? Okay, leadership in real estate, like any leadership role that you have in any industry or any vertical, is all about guiding, motivating, and empowering others in the industry while driving growth and success. See, please understand, how many hands do we have? Two. How many fingers do we have? Unless we're Hrithik Roshan, I'm assuming it's about 10, right? How much work can we do? We've got 24 hours. I don't know anybody who's working for 24 hours a day. It's impossible. So what is it that you need to do? You need to create a team which you call your second in command or downline, or whatever you would want to term it as, right? It is not always about you going and doing that. It is not always about you sitting on the deal and closing it. It is not always about you being physically present in everything, because there's only so much you can do. And most leaders fail because they shy away from giving that kind of, I would say, delegation or empowering others to do what is required to be done. So the most important thing is you need to be, or you need to work as a guide, as a mentor, and ensure you're motivating your team, you're giving them those resources, you're empowering them, and you're empowering others in the industry while driving growth and success. Now, growth and success is not just your growth and success. For me, success is not about how my neighbor is doing in life, or how my peer that I was working with 10 years back is doing in life. That's not success for me. He's become the CEO of the company and I'm stuck at a general manager level. No, that's not the measurement of success. The measurement of success for me is what I was doing on this day, the year 2024. If I have made a difference in my life in this 1 year, financially, physically, Nikki made my day by saying that I'm looking good. So that's a great compliment to have, and it's a great start. I don't know if that is a tactic she uses to motivate people to speak well, but whatever it did well. It did well for everybody, right? So that is the measurement of success. So that is something which we all need to keep in mind. Don't compare yourselves with everybody else in the world. It's just going to give you a lot of pain, if not all the good things in life. All right. Now, why is leadership important for agents? See, it is essential for managing teams. I am assuming you have not entered EXP, and please correct me if I'm wrong. You have not entered EXP to be a solopreneur. to be a single entrepreneur, to be a small medium enterprise. आप उस वजह से यहाँ पे नहीं आए. शायद आप already real estate में काम करें. Maybe you're already working in real estate. You were working in real estate prior to joining in. Whatever may be your reasons for joining this beautiful platform, my assumption is you intend to make a team and manage that team, right? Develop strategy or strategies around it and enhance your client relations. That is the whole idea, right? And that is the reason why leadership is important for all our agents. Now, who can be a leader, right? I think everyone, anyone and everyone can be a leader as long as you have the power, you have the ability to influence someone. I'm not saying all influencers are great or good or are promoting or influencing the right way. But as long as there is an influence that you carry over others, you most definitely are a leader. You're somebody who can take decisions, who's good at making decisions. You're not somebody who says, अच्छा देखते हैं, सोचते हैं, करते हैं, होगा, देखा जाएगा, समझा जाएगा, किया कैसे होगा, अच्छा मैं ये ले लूँ तो. All that kind of gray area is not there. You're a kind of guy. I'm not saying decision making is necessarily quick decision making. All I'm saying is decision making itself is what a lot of people don't do. And the biggest mistake, again, in your leadership role or in your life is not taking a decision. What's the worst that can happen? The decision might not be the best decision in your life, and it may not yield the results that you intend to have. That's all that can happen. और तो कुछ नहीं होगा, right? But it's better than not taking a decision. So a leader is somebody who can influence others, making decisions and taking responsibility for success, not just an individual success. As a leader, it is more important to highlight, appreciate, and make successful testimonials within the teams. And that's what I feel makes a beautiful and an amazing leader. Now, what are the skills that real estate agents require? Again, like I said, there's too much information that can be shared, during this particular thing. But obviously, like I said, due to the paucity of time, we just touch base on a few things. Number one, communication skills. ये जो word है ना, communication skills, यार ये मैंने हर जगह पढ़ा है. I have seen it. I have seen it on YouTube. I've seen these amazing guys give all these gyan about communication skills. You have to be an effective communicator with your clients, with your team members. It should be absolutely impeccable. बहुत लोगों को नहीं समझता. All these flowery words are great on paper. All these flowery words are great in your MBA books. Communication skills require, and the only way you can do this is to keep it simple. जितना आसान आप रखेंगे, जितना सिंपल आप रखेंगे, उतने आसानी से आप किसी के साथ कम्युनिकेट कर पाएंगे. Now tell me if you have ever seen a pre-sale setup, like a call center. ठीक है? You have a telecaller in your team, and if you read a brochure of a property in South Bombay, which is giving you a sea view, what will that brochure read? Uninterrupted sea views of this extravagant property, beautifully designed cabanas, blah 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 blah. अब आप अपने स्क्रिप्ट में अगर ये बढ़िया बढ़िया वर्ड्स लिखेंगे, टेलीकॉलर आधा टाइम तो भूल जाएगी कि उसको बोलना क्या है. Right? She'll forget. Come on, let's be practical about it, right? I'm not saying that the job of a pre-sales executive is lower than that of a sales executive. Absolutely not. In fact, it's more difficult than a sales job. Try and do 80, 100 calls a day with the same enthusiasm, with the same confidence, with the same tone, with the same pitch, day in and out, 6 days a week for a year. You'll find it difficult, right? But here, the key is the communication skills. Now, communication skills within your team and outside your team. Keep it simple. ये बड़े बड़े words हटा. A lot of people tell me, साहब मुझे English नहीं आती है, क्या मैं इस फील्ड में सक्सेसफुल हो सकता हूँ? मैं कहता हूँ साहब इंग्लिश को मारो गोली. Leave it one way or the other. It's not about which language you are connecting in. It is whether you are connecting with your communication skills or not. Are you able to reach out to that person or not? वो कहते हैं ना कि the best chefs in the world are not necessarily the best restaurant owners or restaurant managers. The best leaders are not people who know everything in the world. The best leaders in the world are people who can communicate their vision, their in a very effective way to whoever it is required to be done to. Now, if I were to speak to a pre-sales team, I'll wear that hat. I'll join them in the way they are communicating. I'll not use the way I'm speaking with you, amazing people who have so much work experience, you're so well qualified. I would not be speaking in this particular language with somebody who unfortunately is not at that level as you are today, right? So it's effective communication skills with your clients, with your team members, and also all the stakeholders. All right. Your emotional intelligence, understanding and managing emotions. A lot of people say that you can read through a person by the way he reacts, by the way his facial expressions are, by the way his hand movements are, the way he twitches his eye on certain things that you say, whether he likes it or he doesn't like it, whether she likes it, she doesn't like it. You can do that. But trust me, if you can manage your emotions, have you ever played poker? Right, poker, the game of cards. कोई बात नहीं, आपने टीवी or wherever you see it, you'll see some of the guys are wearing sunglasses. Now it's night, it's night time, daytime, it doesn't matter, but they're wearing sunglasses. You know why? Because they don't want people to look at their expression, read their eyes, and understand whether they're bluffing or making the right call. Right? So they're hiding their emotions. Right? I'm not saying that's what you need to do, all right, but you need to manage your emotions, right? And that's how you are going to make your strong relationships within your team and with the external people, right? Decision making abilities, like I said, the biggest blunder you can do in your life is not take a decision. Don't ponder upon that thought with 50 million views. Don't ponder upon a thought by asking 20 people whether you should go ahead with this or not, right? All these things will only delay your decision making ability. You need to take confident decisions and stick by it. Stick by it, yeah. Okay, I've taken a decision and I'll go with it. Now, whether that is beneficial, whether it is beneficial in the long run for me and my team and my company and so on and so forth, everybody is a different thing altogether, but at least I've taken a decision. But that decision is well informed. It is not something कि मैं उड़ गया और मैंने randomly कुछ उठा के बोलते हैं ये इसको change कर देते हैं. Let's change the policy of the world. Or let me just change my company mission to begin with. Or I'll just come in one meeting and I'll be like, the kingpin, and I'll say, okay, let's change this, let's change this, let's change this. No, I need to be well informed and make a calculated decision. Only then will I have a chance of succeeding in my decision. Again, a leader needs to be a decision maker, right? And he should be a problem solver. Typically, whenever I'm in the whole training phase or when I'm mentoring people, and trust me, you'll hear this as well in your career and of course in your life. A lot of people will come and ask you, sir, is there any problem? Okay, जैसे आप कोई सर्विस इंडस्ट्री में होते हो, and I train so many people in the service industry, the mistake that they do is keep asking the same thing. Sir, कोई problem है क्या? कोई problem है? ये problem है. Then I think, अरे यार, he's asking me, there should be a problem because he's asking me so many times. Right? Oh yeah, I've got this problem also. अच्छा ठीक है, और कुछ है? हाँ ये भी है, और कुछ है? हाँ ये भी है. I'm speaking to somebody within our team, and I said, what is the rationale of having a meeting or taking a meeting and only discussing the problems? What is the next step? If somebody is coming up with a problem, do they have the requisite things to solve that problem? Do they have any suggestions to solve that problem, or they're just shooting out of the box and saying, "खराब है, ये भी खराब है, ये भी problem है, ये भी problem है, ये भी problem है, अरे ये भी problem है, इसलिए तो आप भी हो साथ में." That is why you're here, to at least try and find a solution. The solution may be not the best solution in the world. That's different, but at least try and come up with a solution. So, as a leader, keep asking the questions. Acha, if we do this, if this problem was yours, how would you handle it? Let them come up with a solution. Let your team come up with a solution. Let your people come up with a solution. Okay, if you were to do this in this particular way, how differently would you do it? Let them get into the thinking mode. Okay, when you have a team or when you're building a team, you don't want parrots, right? Parrots are people who just take all the information and blurt it out. No, that's not what you want. You don't want people who are bookish. You want people who have the rationality, who have the reasonability, and have the thought process to solve certain things. And believe you me, people have that. It is just that कि हाँ यार मैं नहीं कोई और कर दे मेरा काम. That is the easy way out. So as leaders, you should be somebody who's a problem solver and most importantly, manage crisis by finding innovative solutions. It is not always by the book. I am definitely not a by the book guy. And maybe I get a lot of flack around that because my way of doing it is slightly different, but it's worked for me. I don't know if it'll work for you, but try and find innovative solutions around different things. And you're at the right platform. EXP gives you so many things. Tell me how many of us have actually used all the tools EXP is giving us? Don't lie. I'm sure a lot of us have not used every tool, which is fine, which is absolutely fine. If you've not, you should. But then the solution of most of your problems is in there, right? So we need to have innovative solution ideas. If you've not gone through all those modules, it's fine. At least reach out to somebody who has and try and solve that problem. Okay. So these are key leadership skills for real estate agents. How do you build effective teams? Please understand the first part of an effective team or a good team is the right kind of candidatures, the right people who are a part of this. It is not about the number of people you have in your team. If you are doing a business of, let's say, 1 crore rupees per annum with two people, and for some reason you expand your team, considering that if I increase it to 10, then my, obviously top line or my revenue would go up to 5 crores. On the contrary, you've hired 10 people and your revenue has just gone up by 2 crores. What have you done? You've not hired the right people, or maybe you have and you've not given them enough opportunity to work, because that is the reason why you hire people. Now, this is in a job kind of a format as a leader. But when you're working as a leader in real estate and you're assuming you have, and I'm assuming you have to have teams or you intend to have teams, getting the right people who share your vision is the most important thing. देखिए, if a person is not very good at closing, absolutely fine. If a guy is shy to make calls, absolutely fine. If a guy is great only at systems but is not good at client facing, absolutely fine. You need people with variety, right? Go to an ad agency and see, have you ever seen one person who does all the creatives, who does all the SEOs, who does all the performance marketing, who does the entire campaigning, who coordinates with the Meta and Google, and at the same time coordinates with the client? After that, if the client is pissed off, handles him as well, which means he has the soft skills to handle that as well. After that, ensure that his business is running successfully. Can one person do all of this? Very rarely, right? So you have somebody who does creatives, you have somebody who does performance marketing, you have somebody who does client servicing, so on and so forth, right? Because each one has a specific skill set which is complementing the other one's skill set. So if a guy is not good at closing, if the guy is not comfortable with meeting clients, don't push him. Yes, of course. Understand why he's not opening up. Understand the reason, right? But ऐसा नहीं उसको नहीं है तो मैं पीछे लड़ाऊंगा, right? So get a mix of right people within your team and create a collaborative environment. Work as a collaboration or work in a collaboration. Now, very easier, I would say it's very easier said than done, because a lot of people use this word in a very different way. Hey, let's collaborate, let's collaborate. A lot of, new gyan that you hear in the corporate world would be let's collaborate, let's do this together. Hey, come on, everybody wants to collaborate, but you tell me the last time you had an effective collaboration and which yielded you a positive result. And for how long was it? So, yes, collaboration is great, but the right collaborative environment is more important, right? If you do not spend time on training and development and you feel training and development is a waste of time, then boss, business is not for you. Forget business. You will be in that oblivion, in that zone where you'll feel that, hey, you know what? My friend, my peer, my guy who started his career with me has become the CEO and I'm stuck at GM. That's the whole thing you will come back to. So if you're giving a training and development a step brother, step sister kind of a treatment, I think you're losing out on something really big. So please ensure that you spend sufficient time. But it's not only about training and development, it's ensuring that it's implemented in the right way, right? Okay. Recognizing and rewarding success. It's not always about giving them a financial incentive. It's not always about financially motivating people. Yes, it is a huge motivator for a lot of us, including yourselves and myself. But the bigger thing is the recognition. एक 50 रुपए का सर्टिफिकेट आप जो शिद्दत से अपनी दीवार पे चिपकाओगे ना, you'll frame it, you'll nicely put it across, and that gives you that wow feeling, you know. You give that person 10,000 rupees, he'll go eat, throw, drink, whatever, and finish it off, right? I'm not saying that's what you should do. All I'm saying is recognition for a lot of people is more than the financial reward that you give them, right? So do that and provide mentorship and guidance. Now, see, mentorship and guidance is easier said than actually done. A lot of people say that, hey, I'm a mentor, I'm a guide. Okay, if you are a mentor, Tell me, have you maintained that consistency? Have you reached out to people week on week when you have decided on a particular time in terms of a call or in terms of a meeting? Have you pinpointed, poked, and said, "Ki sir, karna hai, karna hai, karna hai"? Have you gone ahead and given them certain solutions that they were looking out for, which is why they've considered you to be a mentor? Which means, do you have those requisite trainings with you, or are you well trained to do that or handle certain situations? Right? So if you are an effective team leader, if you want to build effective teams, and if you consider yourself to be a leader, then mentorship and guidance is your role. Again, how many of you have seen the CEO of a developer sitting and closing a deal? If he is, he's doing a fantastic job. I would do that as well. But is that the only thing I'll do? Do you think I'll sit on every deal? Maybe I can close a deal better than my sales manager. I feel I'm confident enough to do that. But if I sit on every deal, why am I hiring a sales manager? Can you think around that? Right? So instead of doing that, why don't give him that mentorship, that guidance for him to actually step in those shoes and start closing deals? When I started working with one of the top developers in real estate, that was my first job. India's one of the largest developers. We used to hire team members who were fresh out of B schools, 22, 23 years of age. Okay, 22, 23 years of age. Within 3 months, if we felt that these guys have the potential, which we would in a week or 10 days, we would know in 10 days that, okay, whether this person is going to perform or he's not going to perform. But if we had that thing clear in our heads that, okay, this guy's going to perform, we would send them to different markets. I know so many people who started their trainer or trainee programs with that same developer, and within 2 months, they were flying off to Australia. They were working in NRI markets. Unbelievable. Yeah. Now, why is this? Because their mentor, their guide, or their leader felt that this opportunity should be given, and he didn't shy away from it. He was not like, "Acha yaar, Australia जाने दो, या ये no." Right? So these are things which are required by anyone, especially by you, in that leadership role that I'm sure that you guys are doing and nurturing. Please don't get me wrong. I'm sure you're doing all of this or majority of this, but if there's one thing that you are not doing, or if you feel that can add value to it, please, you should go ahead and do that, right? Now, enhancing your personal growth and career development, developing a growth mindset. Okay. Now, again, doesn't this sound too cliche? Develop a growth mindset. Oh my God, it is such a big line to speak about. ये क्या बड़े बड़े nomenclatures हैं? It's nothing. It's not rocket science. It is just you telling yourself, you ensuring that your body knows. It is ensuring you set your mind towards growth. That's all it is. जब तक आप सोचोगे नहीं, आप कर नहीं, सोचना नहीं है. You have to work towards it, right? Now, I was probably the worst guy when it comes to physical activity till about 20 days back. Okay. When I say physical activity, I mean, taking care of my health, exercising, all that kind of thing. Okay, I shouldn't have said this because it's recorded, but yeah. All right. But hey, you know what? From the past 20 days, I've been hitting the gym every day. I wake up early in the morning, any which ways. I'm not expecting you to do that. But I wake up early in the morning every day. I've started waking up an hour early. Now I wake up at 4 in the morning. I hit the gym by 5:30. Before that, I do a certain amount of activity, which is my time, which is me time. So when you have this mindset, where is it leading me? It's leading me to a path of growth. Growth, internal growth. Not everything is financial growth, right? But the first thing that came in my mind was, "Arey yaar, I've reached my 40s. There's so many amazing kids who have like such nice bodies. How will I look in front of them?" and all that kind of thing. I said, you know what? It's better to be the oldest in the gym than to be the youngest in a nursing home. So that was my mindset. But I wake up every day in the morning, and no matter what, no matter how much my body is aching, I'll be here day 6 days a week. I could not lift heavy weights because I had in the past. I've had surgeries. But now, not like all these big guys, but I'm doing it, right? So where I am right now, the infrastructure is doing fine as far as and all that thing is concerned. It's one part of not, yeah, road खराब है, ये खराब है, वो खराब है, और I can say that, hey, isn't this a growth opportunity? अगर ये रोड खराब है, कोई कंपनी तो इसको ठीक कर सकती है. यानी जहां पे इंफ्रास्ट्रक्चर बहुत ज्यादा बड़ा नहीं है, वहां पे इंफ्रास्ट्रक्चर नया लाया जा सकता है, which means there is an opportunity here. Of course, there is a challenge. Of course, there is red tape. Of course, there is corruption. Of course, there are external elements which I don't know of. Of course, I'm not a part of the inner circle of this part of India. But of course, there is an opportunity as well. And embrace the continuous learning and adapt to the industry changes. The minute you are placid or you are, straight line about your approach and you say, hey, I know everything around this, is the day you start falling down. So adapt yourself to the newer visions of the industry, the newer ways people are doing it. And don't be shy about acknowledging somebody when he or she gives you one thing which you don't know, rather than saying, "Arey yaar, ye kya bakwas baat ho rahi hai." I, on the other hand, would be more than happy and say, you know what, that's great, man. Maybe I can apply this. Maybe I can apply this in my trainings. Maybe I can apply this in my daily life. Maybe I can reach out to an XYZ around this, right? This line about youngest in the nursing home was actually shared by one of the EXP members who's a part of our team as well. Beautifully said, and I love that. Build a strong personal brand. People should know you as somebody who is a part of a beautiful organization, but also know you as a person who is adding value in that organization. You should be the one who should be holding that baton कि भाई ठीक है, ईएक्सपी बहुत बड़ी कंपनी है, बट अजय भी ईएक्सपी का पार्ट है, यानी लोगों को अजय वर्मा भी जानना चाहिए. जैसे आज बहुत सारे लोग किनको, इफ यू सी एनी ग्रुप, there's Shashank Chauhan, there's Rashid, there's Bilesh, there's Manjunath, there's Vasu. I'm sorry if I missed out a few names, but these are amazing, amazing names that you keep hearing. Why? Because they have built a brand around themselves, right? So this personal brand create a reputation of expertise and professionalism. See, I'm not saying that by a personal brand you should be the jack of all trades, not necessarily. जरूर real estate angle को समझो और जानो. नहीं आता है कोई बात नहीं, but become an expert in your field. If you're looking at one thing, be an expert in that particular thing. But whatever you do, be professional and use that professionalism in every part of your career and conversation. Use social media and networking to expand influences. I am using this platform to network with you and vice versa. If you were not a part of this particular group, you might see this or hear this recording at a later date, right? Either which ways, somewhere I am reaching out to you, right? Now, Shashank, in fact, I should say, Shashank, are you paying me for this? He's not paying any of us. Okay, guys, we're doing this because you want to do this. We want to connect with you all, right? But at the same time, we're doing this because each one of us is creating a stronger personal brand by using this networking platform and expand our influence. Each one's influence, because each one of us that you have heard in the past and today in the evening, if you hear as well, will have a certain level of expertise or an area of expertise. All of us have set our career goals very categorically. I have set my career goal very categorically. I don't know. I don't know if I'll reach 100% of that, but at least I've set. And I'm not going to get into the whole goal setting thing because you've already heard that in various sessions. If you've not, you can reach out to me. I'll charge you for it. Okay. It's okay. All right. But you need to be, as far as career goals are concerned, be very clear. Goals should be measurable and stay focused. When I was filling up that form in the gym, they asked me what I wanted or what I was looking out for in the first year, and I was very realistic around it. Okay, and I am an amazing trainer who's like really fit, and he said, okay, good. This sounds really natural, normal. It's not like you want to build biceps like Arnold Schwarzenegger in the first year, which is not going to happen. I said, I know, because that's what I preach. And what I preach is I should be preaching it myself. All right. So my goal is quite measurable. I want to be fit in the sense I want to increase my stamina because I've got a few bad habits which are not that great. Second, I want to be in good shape. Third, I want to reach to a level where I have my peace of mind. And whether it's through exercise or whether it's through XYZ. So by setting your career goals, set them clearly, measure those goals, or those goals should be measurable. Stay focused no matter what happens, and regularly review your progress. Have you made that progress every quarterly, every 6 months or every year? Short term, mid term, long term goals. I know you've already done all this, but if you've not, please do that. Please write all these things. It makes a huge difference. I am not a very tech guy. I appreciate all the lovely techies who bring out all these amazing things. I'm still a pen and paper guy. I love using technology, but I'm still comfortable using a pen and paper, so I write stuff, right? But if that is not your scene, that is not your game, do something else. Whatever you do it so you can adjust yourself as and when required or as needed. Now, when you're creating a leadership mindset, lead with vision and purpose. That vision that you have should be percolated to every person in your team. If there is a mismatch in that vision, then somewhere the performance will take its toll. So, number one, inspire others by articulating a clear vision for the future. It does not mean use all these fancy words. I was hearing this old video of Jack Ma, right, when he was 19 and he was talking to some of his initial set of employees in his apartment, giving them a brief, vision brief of where, his company or their collective group should reach by competing with Americans. And it was unbelievable. Nobody could have believed a 19-year-old guy saying that, look where they are, right? So lead with vision and purpose, percolate down to everybody in the team. Lead by example, okay? I'm not saying that you sit on every deal, but if you are expecting somebody to make 80 calls, right? Give them a flavor as well. Get on the calls. It might not be as efficient as somebody who's doing it right there, but definitely do it. There's no harm in doing that. There's no harm in picking the phone up and calling. There is no harm in making a cup of tea yourself. There is no harm in opening the door for your client. There is no harm in saying thank you to everybody who's in this entire chain of your reception area, of the people who are helping you, the backend team, administration team, people who are not often out there in the picture, who are not often noticed. So when you lead with that kind of mindset, you lead with integrity, you have that professionalism and your hard work, definitely it inspires confidence in people. You speak to me at 12 in the night, please don't call me at midnight. Okay. In case you want to speak to me at 12 in the night, you'll hear my tone in the exact same way as you're hearing it right now. It's just that I'll speak a little softly because my 4-year-old will be asleep, right? Because he wakes up quite early, just like me. But yeah, all I'm saying is that confidence which is required by other people comes through you. I'll give you a small trick to this trade, okay? This trade of real estate, and maybe I will be divulging the most controversial statement in the history. Do you know that any client that you have been approached or you are approaching or you're trying to convince is already convinced? Every client, every person looking for a property knows that he wants this property. He just wants a reassurance, because as human beings, हमें जो बोलते हैं, हमें हम जो सोचते हैं, हमारी बीवी का इन्फ्लुएंस बहुत ज्यादा होता है, डेफिनेटली। लेकिन जब कोई उस फील्ड का कोई एक दिग्गज इंसान, एक प्रोफेशनल इंसान वही चीज बताता है, उन्हें ये लगता है कि जो था वो सही है. Whatever they have thought is correct, which reassures them of their decision. Don't fight too much about whether this is going to get closed or not. It is already closed. Have you reassured that guy in the right way is the game changer, whether he will go with you or somebody else. आप कितने भी अच्छे कपड़े पहन लो, कितने भी अच्छे दिखो, all that are tools and parts of all of this. The only thing is the reassuring factor, and that comfort level. So this will inspire confidence, and that is all you need to do is project whatever you're saying with confidence internally and externally. Be resilient and adaptable. Embrace change. Boss, if there are changes which are good, then I don't mind being a part of it. I would love being a part of it and guide your time or guide your team through all these transitions. There is no reason why your team should be kept hush hush about all of this. Let them be a part of this and foster positive culture. Create a supportive environment. If your guy cannot do something, help him out. No big deal. All your team members, the day they feel valued is the day they'll start getting productive. ये आप कहोगे यार ये तो बहुत बेसिक चीज है, ये तो हर कोई करता है, everybody does this. I don't want to disappoint somebody, or I'm not rude to anybody on purpose. Of course you're not. Generally people and genuine people are not. They're not rude to people. They should not be rude to people unnecessarily. But do you value everybody in your team the same way? I'm not saying carry dead weight along with you at every juncture. No, don't do that. But if you have somebody in your team, I'm assuming that team member is valuable to you, which is why he's in your team. But are you keeping him valued at all levels? So foster that positive change, and trust me, you'll see the change in the entire game. Now, what are the challenges and how do you overcome them? Managing difficult situations. देखिए बहुत सारे difficult situations आपके life में आएंगे as a leader, right? And obviously, there will be times when things can go from one level to another, which could be very frustrating. It will challenge yourself or it will challenge you in all these different situations. So, what do you do in this case? Just stay calm. Shanti se rahiye. No need to create an emotional drama around it. No need to be aggressive around it. Be aggressive in your sales, but at that point in time, stay calm and approach challenges with a solution oriented mindset. In all likelihood, like I mentioned earlier, ask your team what would they do in this particular situation, and the answer will come from there itself, right? Balance leadership with productivity. The only way you can do this is by delegating the task effectively. Do haath das ungli, if not Ritik Roshan. Remember, now you want 100 fingers, you have to delegate and be okay with it. Don't be a micromanager. A micromanager is not a good leader, right? Don't let people or don't tell people that I know this better than you. Maybe you do, but don't do that. You've hired or you have a team, so delegate stuff to avoid burnout, because how many things will you do every day? Handle resistance to change. Communicate the benefits clearly. Biggest question that people ask you, right? Hey, sir, if I come into you, why should I give EXP a certain percentage? Because your entire pitch is that, okay, हमको 25% देना है, 20% देना है, and all that kind of thing. What are the benefits of that 20-25% have been told to all of us in various different formats by various different people, but are we actually putting it across to our teams? Right? Who we may or may not ask these kind of questions in the near future once they understand this. So communicate the benefits clearly and involve your team in transitions. And most importantly, build credibility and trust. Establish credibility by being transparent, by being consistent and delivering results. The day you are consistent, the day you don't say, okay, I'll start one meeting and then I'll end one meeting, and then maybe after 2, 3 weeks, I'll not take that meeting. No, if you have to do it, you have to do it. If you have to have sales meeting with your team, if you have to have review meetings with your team, do it. But don't be a meeting person. A lot of us, and I completely am against this, is the time people spend in meetings. Okay, meetings is just for figuring out what has to be done, but it's the action which happens after the meeting. So don't be somebody who says एक conference center में बैठेंगे और वहीं पे ही बातें करेंगे and all that, meeting खेलेंगे. No. Okay, be transparent but be consistent, and also be delivered or delivery oriented by just focusing on the results. All right. So, in all fairness, the key takeaways here would be leadership is most definitely ongoing. It's not like a 1 day, 1 month, 1 year kind of a thing. If you choose to be a leader, and there's nothing wrong in being okay with yourself and saying that, okay, you know what, I may not be that kind of a leader, which is fine, as long as you are honest with yourself, right? So, leadership, if at all you are looking at it, definitely it's all about being consistent. It's all about being an ongoing process. It is focusing and your emotional quotient along with your team building. And leadership most definitely elevates your career. Everybody else who is with you, they should feel the same, and in all likelihood they should feel the sense of empowerment and responsibility, right? So with that, I think I would end today's session. I hope I have not taken too much of your time. I think we went a little ahead of that, so I'll be very happy to take any questions that you have in your chat or the way you want. Okay, there is something written by Mayam. That is a bullet point. If language is not easy or simple to understand, then it is a good communication. Sorry, I don't understand the context, but this was sent earlier while the presentation was going on. Okay, Chandrasekhar says, I don't agree. In real estate business, he should be perfect for all the work, but he can do as teamwork, which is assigned calls, closing, or site visit. Okay. Guest says, thanks for your nice presentation, Ajay. You're most welcome, sir. Thank you. Kuldeep ji, you're most welcome, sir. Thank you. कोई सवाल आपके, any questions that you have? Anything that you would like to share with the team over here, with everybody over here? We'll be very happy to take that. Guest, I'm sorry, I don't know your name, but you're asking, what are your views on real estate being a people-centric business? If anybody has a doubt around it, I think this is not the business for us. It is 101% people centric. AI ले आओ, आप कितनी भी चीजें ले आओ, it is human intrinsic. Without human beings, and probably the only business in the world which will survive when AI takes over, right? Because at the end of the day, the reassuring factor in real estate can be done not by a machine, it can be done by only human beings, right? So I'm sure AI will take over a lot of things in the future, but very difficult to take over this is my way of looking at it. So yes, it is most importantly a people generated. Okay, okay. So how HR requirements change? Sorry, not able to understand that question. HR requirements in the sense hiring your team, is that what you're asking me? I'm not able to figure out the question, sir. Okay, guest, could you please put the whole thing in one sentence, because it's wavered, so I'm not able to comprehend what is the question that's being asked. Business being people centric. If you could just put it in one line, probably I'll be able to understand that better. Okay. In the meantime, any other questions anybody else has?
So Ajay bhai, I have a question. Good morning.
Sir, sir.
Yeah, so great session. Ajay bhai, like if I wanted to grow my team, I'm talking about I'm working as a realtor. So what are the things I should keep in mind? Like because leadership obviously it's not a I would say one day job. So it will come when you practice it, when you grow, when you get the responsibilities, like you just shared a lot of things. So for a an individual agent who's building up the team and they are not able to retain the team, so any advice for that? Like what should be the things they should keep in mind? Three for
Sure. I think that's a brilliant question, because see, most likely most of us are in a startup mode, in the sense that we are not as big as the larger organizations in consultancy, so we find it difficult for somebody to come in, be a part of our team, and continue being a part of the team, because obviously a lot of people want to work with a certain degree. When I was looking from a job perspective or from an agent perspective, coming to your question कि हमें क्या करना चाहिए, see, unless you show them the value of being with you, nobody's going to stick with you. It's as simple as that. अगर आप उन्हें आपके साथ जुड़ने की वैल्यू नहीं दिखाओगे, forget you're a part of a large organization, forget you're being mentored by the topmost guys in the world, it doesn't matter. What are you doing as an individual to help that person grow in life is what he's looking for. Simple as that. दूसरा चीज, the thing that I always preach is, number one, there's something called as घर चलाना and there's something called as दुकान, right? चलेगा तो आप दुकान चलाने के फोकस पे जाओगे तो it becomes very difficult. Give them that feeling and make sure that there is that recurring mode of finance which comes to these people who are there with you. See, motivation, as I mentioned, reward and recognition is different from motivation. Financial motivation is very high on everybody's checklist, whether we choose to believe it or not. अगर आप उनके ग्रोथ जर्नी में फाइनेंशियली ले रहे हैं, जिसमें आपको भी बन रहा है, मोस्ट डेफिनेटली वो आपके साथ रहेगा. एवरीथिंग एल्स is built upon that or can be built upon that. Third thing, be consistent. Again, I'm saying be consistent with what you do. If you're saying that, okay, we will have 4 meetings in a month, 1 hour a week, so and so day, consistently do that. It is a business of hammering people. Hammering people मतलब client को भी आपको follow up, callers को भी आपको follow up करना पड़ता है, अपने team members को भी आपको follow करना चाहिए. मैं भूल गया सर, मैं ये नहीं आ पाया, ऐसा नहीं कर पाया. That's not the reason that you should be giving somebody else. There is a 90% chance somebody else will give you that reason as the meeting hai, right? But keep being consistent, and in all likelihood there will be a change and people will be stuck with you. I'll give you a live example about one of the gentlemen who came across from the mentor mentee program. Okay, he's a gentleman from Tamil Nadu, and we got introduced about 6 months back. For the first 2 months, we were gung-ho about working together and everything, and we discussed very much in detail. And we got introduced through VG from the team. And after 2 months, there was a sudden lag of 2, 3 months. We were trying to communicate, but we could not because sometimes he was traveling or sometimes I was traveling. In the recent a month back, I just connected with him again, and now we're back in the entire game. So maybe in between we lost that track. और ये क्या होता है ना शशांक भाई, ये बहुत बड़ी से रेगुलरली बात कर रहे होते हैं ना, तो अंदर एक हिचकिचाहट होती है कि यार अब मैं फोन उठा के बात करूंगा, सामने वाला क्या सोचेगा, कुछ नहीं सोचेगा यार, ये मोर देन हैप्पी करो या तो राइट. सो आई थिंक दीज की पॉइंट्स और फ्यू पॉइंट्स शुड हेल्प यू maintain those relationships which one is looking out for. And secondly, don't waste time on people who are not worth it. I don't. Okay. तो अगर रह के यहाँ पे कुछ is a whiling away of time, which Shashank bhai, you are a master at it. You know how to stop and start a conversation and where to end that conversation with who. So that's amazing. I've learned this from you. So I think you should keep that. We should all learn that from you, sir. So those are my thoughts around it, Shashank.
Hey, thank you. I think great piece of advice, guys. Any other question related to team building, related to leadership? Anyone has?
Good morning. Good morning, everyone. I have a question.
Sir.
Ajay bhai, very good morning to you, sir.
Morning, sir. Morning.
Ajay bhai, I have a question. Since we are discussing team building and the future of real estate and future of any industry for that matter, and we all are seeing day to day the involvement and the evolution of AI and automation coming into the business. And again, I say this in almost every business. So, how do you see the road ahead? Basically, at this point of time, this juncture, should we focus more on larger team building, or should we focus more on automation, or should be there should be an integration of both?
Sir, पहली चीज तो there's nothing like a large team or a small team. A team is a team, whether it consists of more than one person. दो लोग भी हो गए तो आप एक team हो, right? So
Yes.
I have made these mistakes in the past, and probably that's how I've learned. And everybody learns it the hard way. I completely understand that fact. मैं पहले क्या करता था, बहुत सारे लोगों को जोड़ता था, फिर उसमें से फिल्टर मैंने मेरी स्ट्रैटेजी थोड़ी चेंज कर दी. फोकस अप्रोच दिखता है. So earlier my strategy was to spend 80% of my time with 20% of the people who were productive. Right now, I spend 80% of my time finding those 20% of the people who can be productive. That's about it. Right now, coming to your point, building a big team will not really help you. Creating an effective team will help you. Does AI change this entire equation? It's a tool. It will help you. It will help your team members in certain things. But again, you
Sorry,
cannot.
someone's mic was on. Sorry, I could you repeat that, sir, please? Someone's
Sure.
mic was on.
So, like I said, AI, or for that matter, anything else, is a part or is a tool which can be used to help one or to help a lot of people. But it cannot replace that part of it. It cannot replace the human angle. It should not ideally replace the
Okay.
human angle. Right.
Okay.
So, point I'm trying to make sure is use AI, use all these amazing tools to enhance their skill sets, to make their life easy, XYZ. Right. But when it comes to building a team, what worked for me in the last couple of months, and maybe my strategy was slightly different earlier, is to focus on getting the right people as opposed to getting so many people and then figuring out कि इसमें से अच्छा कौन है या किसके साथ ज्यादा काम हो सकता. Maybe that's the shift that I made, and maybe that's changing now. Bring in more quality in the system as opposed to quantity, and then refining the quality, sir.
Thank you so much, Ajay bhai. Thank you so much.
Most welcome, sir. Anytime. सर जरूरी नहीं है ये करना है, और करेंगे तो जरूर कॉल की.
अजय, सही बात. मतलब मेरे को भी लगता है कि
Definitely.
bringing quality is a better stake, especially in Indian market. Some of the markets we have seen, if you can bring quantity, so they are kind of preemptive, thing that they really take the responsibility and onus of doing things. And in India, I have seen, a lot of people, and this is from my experience I'm sharing, a lot of people when it comes to, deliver. Some people, they talk a lot. Some people, they try to put efforts. They are not skilled. You can definitely work with those people. But there are some people who can have potential, can do that, but they don't want to, right? They are lethargic. They are kind of undisciplined. They always have their own aura that they don't want to get out of. They feel like दुनिया उसी तरीके से चलती है, right? जैसे वो सोचते हैं. So I've seen these kind of things which as an individual is a kind of pushback. So being a potential guy who has a lot of potential of deliver, but they kind of stuck like following the same practices with their same assumptions, or I would say their thought process. So I think that is one thing, in my opinion. I think we should avoid such people. You should always focus on the people who really wanted to grow, who really wanted to have that mindset. No matter whether they are skilled or not, but if the intent is there, if they are, positive thinkers, if they are strong headed that I have to do it right somehow or anyhow. So I think these are the people I have seen a lot of success getting. So this is from my experience I am sharing. Maybe I am wrong, but I have observed this. And yes, definitely, if you invest in a good quality, maybe you are select with few numbers, but those people, if you are able to retain them well, I think they will be your biggest asset in the long term growth.
100% Shashank ji. I mean, you're to the dot correct. I don't think you're wrong at all in whatever you've said. One more thing I'll just add to it is the fact that we should all start saying no or learn how to say no. Because most of the times, what happens is in the flow of things or in the fit of whatever we call it, हम सब चीज़ों में हाँ हाँ बोल देते हैं, ना नहीं बोलते हैं, ना हम चाहे फिर हम टीम में बात करें, लोगों के साथ बात करें, क्लाइंट के साथ बात करें या बिल्डर, कभी ये ना हमारी हाँ होती है, so we should be doing that is the way I see it also, sir. But great thought, sir. मैंने कहा ना आपसे कुछ ना कुछ यूज करता हूँ मैं अपने सेशंस में, जरूर करूंगा सर ये भी. Right, great, great, great,
A
great.
great session. I think someone has written, my observation is since the business is people centric, it has an impact on how one selects his team, the kind of trainings required, skills required for various roles. So fellow realtors can enhance their effectiveness if they look at selecting people as a part of their team. Yeah, so I think this is the same thing which you and I was discussing.
Yeah, yeah.
So absolutely correct,
Look,
whosoever the guest is.
बिल्कुल बिल्कुल सर. I'll just take one last line before from my side I can end this. There was one thing which a lot of people do is not related directly to this topic, is look at tomorrow as the day to start. करेंगे ना कल से बहुत बढ़िया ही नहीं है. I was in Ireland and there was a pub, okay, and you know what was written outside that pub, which stuck in my head. It says free beer tomorrow, get free beer tomorrow. आप जब भी जाओ tomorrow आएगा ही नहीं, यानी free beer कभी होएगी ही नहीं, you know. So if anybody wants to do it now. Don't wait for all this. Don't wait for Shashank sir's amazing insights, or don't wait for Ajay or all the amazing other beautiful trainers who've come across and said all this information. अपने आप करो यार, करो, लेकिन शुरू कर दो. डोंट वेट कि भाई कोई आके बताएगा. That's all I wanted to say, sir. Thank you very much, sir. Pankaj sir, thank you very much. Really appreciate your kind words, sir. Sir, if any other questions, VG ma'am, any other questions, or how do you want to take this?
So great session, Ajay bhai. Thank you everyone for joining. I hope you find this, really useful. The reason why we have organized this session because it is very important. Since all of you are growing, so it's a part. You should learn all these things. Maybe you are already aware about these things. So कभी कभी क्या होता है ना, एक रिफ्रेशर जरूरी होता है. There are a couple of things which I feel after attending the session is maybe I'm doing wrong, because self doubt for a leader is always there, because you never know, right? So it situations arises. I'm sure some of you also realize it. Those who do this kind of self evaluation. So I don't know how many of you do this practice. And last tip, I always try to give you a tip. So अगर रात को घर जाके ने से पहले या फिर घर पे जाके, if you are not evaluating yourself, like how was the day went, right? So you are missing out something, right? So you know yourself better than anyone. You know the rights, you know the wrongs, you know what you are doing, right? So if you are not assessing yourself in terms of every single day, chances of becoming a successful person is really really low, right? So always ask this question कि भाई आज का दिन क्या गलत किया, क्या मैंने सीखा, क्या मैंने अच्छा किया. इज इट अ गुड प्रोडक्टिव डे फॉर मी. दिन को और बेहतर कर, कहाँ पे मैंने टाइम वेस्ट किया, कहाँ पे मैं नहीं करूँगा दोबारा से टाइम वेस्ट, क्या मैंने गलत बोला, क्या मैंने सही बोला. सो आई थिंक अगर ये चीज़ें आप सीखने लगे ना, और ये खाली माइंड में चलता है, राइट? ऐसा नहीं है कि आपको किसी से बात करनी है, आपके दिमाग में खुद ही होगा. गाड़ी चलाते हुए मत करना ये काम, घर जाके आराम से तसल्ली से बैठो. 5 minutes 10 minutes, मे बी टेक अ कप ऑफ टी, मे बी ग्लास ऑफ वाटर, maybe glass of drink, right? Whatever gives you kind of your time. So we call it me time. But as you grow, as you know, there are a lot of things, there are a lot of tensions in the life, there are a lot of challenges in the life. It's always good to spend some 15-20 minutes with yourself. And if you start doing it, you will start seeing the improvement in your journey.
Super, sir. Super. Right, sir. So, with everybody's permission, shall we end today's session?
Yes, thank you everyone, thank you so much.
Thank you for being a lovely audience. Thank you, Shashank sir, and the entire team of Nikki, VG, Maya, for
Thank you,
having
thank
us
you.
all over here. Really appreciate this. Thank you, and have a great day to.
Very beautiful session. You're always giving us the best of things. I attended a few of your YouTube also. It's quite amazing. Thank you.
Thank you, sir. Really appreciate your kind words. Thank you. Thank you.
Thank you, Ajay. Thank you, everyone.